Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast, episode 512. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gast. That's right. I'm returning after like a month of a hiatus. Yeah. Followed by Mike Sneedy.
What's up?
And Corey Feinsod.
Hey-o, we just can't get four of us.
Yeah, we can't get four of us, and we can't get video. Internet issues tonight, but Corey's got a good excuse for it. You know, he's limited
Still
to whatever.
in the hotel. This is it,
Yep.
though. This is the final podcast from the hotel.
Oh,
That's gotta be positive. Gotta be positive.
Yep.
Yeah. So, well, yeah. Tony's actually working tonight, so he'd not be able to join us. I worked the last 3 times, so I don't. I know what he's talking about. It's effing crazy out there right now. So yeah, guys, welcome to the Gamecast. I can say like I haven't gotten to play any games in like 2 weeks since I've been playing, except for like I played Ring Fit. Still played some more Ring Fit Adventure.
Ring Fit Adventure, yeah.
Which because now I'm actually back at the gym, so it's like I'm using that on my off days, so it's not really an off day. It's kind of nice. I do it for like just 20-25 minutes. It's very brief, but a nice little movement kind of thing. I like it. It loosens me up. It's actually a better companion to going to the gym than what I used to do before, which was nothing. So it's going to be good to work that in. Other than that, it's been like, for me, it's been gaming. It's been just not happening, unfortunately. I would bring my Switch to work, but I'm working like absolute nonstop, so I don't even have time to even sit at my desk, let alone play a video game. So, but yeah, so I have a hard time getting a cup of coffee. I have a hard time drinking my cup of coffee throughout the whole day at this point. So it's been that crazy. And then, working till at least 11 o'clock at night, most nights. It's been no time for games. I just want to sleep when I get home usually.
It's weird times. So
yeah,
it's hard.
It's
and you
a lot
do
worse
kind
than
of fall out of it too. It's like sometimes you get in a rut or just like a streak of like, you know what?
Yeah.
It's
starting to slow down now, and like it's starting to slow down now, and I'm actually going away this weekend. I'm going to go away, so I'm going to miss some gaming time as well. But I do have an extra day off when I get back from my trip. So I'm going to be playing finally some games on that day. That is my video game marked day. It's on the calendar. I wrote it. Video games. So I'll be playing that. And, so that's really it for me. Corey, what have you been playing?
Not too much either. Just, some more board games on Tabletop Simulator. Been enjoying being able to do that still. And it is funny because some of the games that are just a little harder to get people to play in person, it is easier to do online because you can just hop in and then when you're done, you can just hop off. And so it's been actually interesting to get a few games that a lot of us didn't think we would get to play normally. We are getting to play a little bit, so that's been cool. And then played a little more of the Fall Guys. The new update came out where the cheaters are gone, so like there's hardly any cheating in there anymore, which before you'd start a round and people would already be qualified right at the beginning of the game, and you're like, what the heck, what's going on here? We didn't even start yet. So they figured that out, and they've randomized a lot of the stages, so it's a little bit more unique each time through, which is cool. And then Among Us has just been crazy how popular that game is, and the memes that are coming out of it and stuff. It's been pretty interesting, but it's a good game. You guys definitely check it out. Got that social deduction, find the hidden traitor type of aspect to it. So it's been cool.
Okay, cool. Mike?
I've been playing a lot of Tony Hawk 1 and 2 Remaster. I've gotten a bit better at it now. I don't know. I know the first game didn't have the revert manual stuff in it originally, because that's like the whole idea of comboing was never a thing for me that I remember. It was just, while you're in the air, get the biggest number you can, and that's the end of the trick. Not try to continue it and transition to have these giant combos, which that's apparently how you're supposed to play the game now. So I've been doing that. I've actually finished all the traditional objectives and all the levels for the first, 1 and 2, which I never did back then, which is good. And now I'm doing a little bit. I'm not going to go too crazy on it because I'm not good at the game by any stretch of the imagination. But I am going through. They have you can play levels again in a sort of just a score attack or a speed run where you do all the traditional objectives after a certain amount of time, then get a ranked score. Which it does remind me a bit of the Arkham games, so it appealed to me that way. Even though, again, I'm not gonna. If I get under 10,000 in this, I'm happy. It's not like in the Arkham games where I want to be in the top 1,000, but if I can get to 9,000 something, I'm like, all right, that's a solid score. But been playing a lot of that, and also just finishing up some of the side quests in Yakuza Kiwami 2. Same stuff, just funny. I'm a cabaret club Grand Prix winner. Actually, they did have some nice callbacks to Yakuza 0 in that side story there, which I was surprised about. So it's a funny series. So I've been playing those pretty much back and forth, pretty consistently.
All right. Cool. All right. In the news, let's see what I got here. We've got a couple things. First of all, I don't have it on the list here, but you reminded me. Seeing Mike here reminded me. What do you think about Cyberpunk being a little bit shorter than The Witcher 3?
Well, so on my second playthrough, which I did stall on actually, of The Witcher 3, I was least interested in the main story because
that's what they said they found by a lot of the people that played it.
Yeah, well, the main story itself wasn't even especially long. I don't think it's just you get so caught up in everything else in that world that I feel like that's why a lot of people didn't finish it. Shorter, I don't feel good about it being shorter. Like if it's a really compelling story that you want a lot happening in, I can't say that's makes me excited that it's shorter, but it's not that big of a deal. I'm sure there's more than enough side activities or other things going on to make up for it. But I do think it's kind of funny because, you just get sidetracked in these CD Projekt Red games all the time anyway.
Yeah. I'm actually, like I said, I'm more excited for that game now because The Witcher is just such a big freaking game that I'm like, I know this is going to be a large game, but I'm like, it helps me to know that it's a little bit short of the main campaign. So I can get my fill. I get my fill of the side content as much as I would like, but then still complete that game without having to play it excessively. So I'm okay with it. Let's see, what do we got here? We've got brand new in-game event for Rocket League, Llama Rama, begins this weekend.
Yeah, I don't really know what or why, but okay.
It's still going, man. Content support.
It's a Fortnite tie-in, isn't it?
Is it?
Isn't that from Fortnite, the llamas?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
Fortnite. Sure, great. Whatever.
Yeah. But you can't fault them, man. Supporting this game, how long? How long has this game been out? All generation?
4 years, 5 years at least.
It's been crazy. I mean, the support for that game has been nuts, and I can't wait.
It's great, and
it's good. I do.
Yeah, this has lasted forever.
I do not like the sort of battle passy as opposed to just loot boxes. I actually prefer the loot boxes way they did things in the past because now without paying, you just can't get anything. But it's fine.
Well, you have to play every day for hours on end to get to the end to get the good stuff.
Yeah, but and I'm very sporadic with this game. I play on and off here and there, but no, it's still the core mechanics. Just they don't get bad, so it's always there. It can always get better. It's one of those games where skill gaps can be really huge because you just get better the more you play, and there's luck, but not a whole lot. It's a lot of skill based stuff in this game, so it's good. But llamas,
cool.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Let's see. BlizzCon finally has been scheduled for an online-only event, February 19th and 20th of 2021. Well, obviously, it's online only.
It'll be a blizzard then, too. February.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do we expect from that, Corey?
Global warming. I mean, they're going to show more Diablo, obviously. We'll get some... When is Overwatch 2 coming out? I guess we might get more of that. I don't know.
I wonder if that's been put on the back burner a bit with everything that's went on.
Yeah. But hoping we get something new, something exciting. But I don't really care either way at this point. Anything they show is going to be like 4 years away. So
Yeah. Well, that's true. I mean, I don't know what we're going to get exactly, but
the only thing that could be announced is probably Overwatch 2.
they've already they showed it already, but like when is that coming out? Yeah,
I guess more of like a concrete thing. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Let's see. I don't know what else we're gonna get with that.
I've been a little. It's been a little disappointing. Like Tony and I, we've gone to all of the Overwatch finals, and this year we're not going to be able to do that. And it's a little sad, but it would have been cool to kind of keep that going.
It's just sports in general. It's a little sad this year. It's just like
no,
you can't enjoy them.
People like not tons, I guess, but like if they allow you, I saw a ton of people at the games that were allowed to go. So like people will go if they're allowed to, regardless.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. I mean, you're looking like you said, football. Right now, there's stadiums with fans. I feel like baseball, if they had done it, they would have had fans. So, it's just a matter of an NBA. NBA, they would have had fans too. It's just, the smart thing to do is not having these events with fans there. I mean, that's a smart thing. So, yeah. So, I don't know. Let's see. PS5. We had the pre-orders last week. You guys probably talked about it a little bit, the debacle of that. No matter what you do, you really can't get enough for people, especially during the first pre-order launches. Apparently, the digital edition is not a very high stock quantity item. I guess not expecting to sell much of that. I'm guessing that's a pretty high loss volume for them.
We didn't talk about it because they went online on Thursday, or whatever it was. So
yeah,
we talked that they were coming, but we were speculating. But yeah, they kind of like just like, hey, they're coming, and then they were out, and people were like scrambling, and then they're all gone, and then they were back. So it was really weird.
Yeah.
And then we got the little dig by Microsoft, but I knew they did a little dig, but at the same time, like, you haven't had yours yet, and then we kind of had the same problem.
Here's the thing: like, Microsoft let everybody know when it was going to happen, but they didn't take account for the fact that no, because you're still relying on the other companies to have a server that can handle your product at the time.
Well, exactly.
Like, people
that's what I
see
mean.
the server.
All right, so for PlayStation 5, nobody knew when it was happening, so you had all these sporadic things happening, and like people got them like, hey, we're lucky, and like, oh, it's scramble. And this one's like, all right, let's get a million people all at once trying to buy this thing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, one way or another, it's gonna not be great. So like, if you had maybe spread it out a little bit or something, I don't know, if you get those, like packs, they have those queues, maybe get a queue system going for like tickets, like that,
I think a queue system would be the best way to go. But then if you look at what Funko did with their queue system, it sucked as well. So they had a queue system that still fucking failed.
That's true.
So you're not going to make everybody happy in the pre-orders. I don't know why the
craze
is so high.
Xbox one today. Like so they had the Xbox pre-orders go today.
People, though, but how many people are crazy buying these things to flip them? Like, I can't imagine that there's this much demand for these two systems when there's no games coming for these systems this year. I can't imagine. what is? I mean, Star Wars sold for
in
4
recent
billion.
memory.
Yeah.
Right. No, I
Um,
mean, the
How
bigger
are
thing
they
that I can
worth
think
that?
of is Facebook buying whatever that thing WhatsApp for $19 billion.
Yeah.
That was
Oh, that's what it was.
ridiculous.
WhatsApp is high. Yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah, Minecraft, Marvel, getting bought, like, and Star Wars, all those things combined, three of those things, I think, was what they paid for Bethesda, right? Because
Yeah.
wasn't Star Wars like 4 billion, Minecraft
4
was
billion
like
for
2
Star Wars. I
billion.
think mine was 2, and so was Marvel. I think was 2.
Yeah, somewhere
So
around
it's a
there.
little
It's
bit
like
more.
somewhere
Yeah.
around those.
And how much are the Mets getting sold for?
They got sold for. Yeah, you're right. $2 billion. So a $2 billion valuation.
So Bethesda is worth 4 times the amount of a New York sports team. That's insane.
It's the Mets. It sounds about right.
Yeah,
no,
so
I
like
know what you're saying.
Bethesda,
Mike. I know what
if
you're
you
saying.
guys don't know Bethesda Game Studios, they are the makers of the beloved Skyrim on everything, Oblivion series, the Fallout series, the new ones, the Doom series. Now they're gonna have Starfield coming up. They're gonna have they have their Arcane Studios, which does like Dishonored, and I think that aren't they doing that um new shooter game that kind of like has a rewind feature or something? What's that called?
Yeah, but Tokyo something is still. But there's 2 games they're still working on. They're still going to be timed exclusives to PS5. But
Starfield was one I thought of those. But like, no, that shooter that they just announced on Xbox. What is it called now? Mike, you were saying this looks interesting on the PS5. Deathloop.
Yes.
Deathloop.
Yeah, it actually kind of reminds me a bit of the Arcane stuff, the
Yeah, because it uses
Dishonored stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Dishonored, both games of Dishonored I got. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like this, and then I played it, and they're like,
So apparently Microsoft will still honor Deathloop and Ghostwire's agreements with the PS5 time exclusively.
Okay.
Yeah, I just looked it up.
I mean, yeah, I would imagine it's a Fox thing. You still have these certain deals that are in place. You gotta kind of honor that.
Not to mention Microsoft's been okay with releasing a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing is I think they're more concerned about just getting Game Pass out there, getting their products or whatever IPs they own or whatever stuff they have in everyone's hands. So they're not really concerned.
Yeah, they're acquiring studios just like for their Game Pass, just like Netflix would for their own services. You know what I mean? Like they're doing the same thing Netflix, building up a library, a catalog as best they can to get that money later on, right? I mean, that's what they're doing, investing big into
subscriptions. Yeah.
Yep.
No, but so they have some major franchises and a lot of like the stuff coming out now is like, oh, are these going to go exclusive? But like I don't see them making the Oblivion game exclusive or even Starfield exclusive.
I could see all of them coming out in other systems, but I could see only exclusive content to the Xbox.
The thing is, Xbox needs exclusive stuff so much.
That's the point. Like, I mean, look how people were angry about Spider-Man in this stupid Avenger game that nobody's going to care about when it comes out, anyways. But I
still think that I'd like to see the sales number for that game. I'm sure it's doing well.
I'm sure it's okay, but who's going to be playing it in 6 months?
I think that's the time to play it when it's more complete. But we'll see.
But like my point is like Elder Scrolls will launch on the PS5, but Elder Scrolls will have exclusive content for the Xbox because that's going to make you want to buy it for their system. But you'll still play it on the PS5.
Maybe. I'm not so sure. I really think.
I think it launches. Well, here's the thing: like you could buy Elder Scrolls 6 on the PS5, or you could play it with Game Pass.
Right, that's what I mean. Like I think it's more about that. It's like, you can buy it on PS5, or you can just subscribe to the service that you get all these games for, and you're going to get this as well. So like that sounds like a better deal to me. I think that's the route they go more so than.
That might be it.
It's like Phil Spencer's been, kind of on that whole games for everyone, like lovey-dovey and like I want this everywhere kind of stuff. So that's why I think their focus is more on services that you get with Xbox than exclusive content games wise. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can play this game over there, but you can also play this game and everything else that you wanted for the same price, essentially.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, but just think about what they have now. Like, what is this? Like, what this means? Like, you've already seen, like, you've probably seen like the memes and the like the artwork and stuff like Halo, Doom, like merged like combos, and Obsidian is owned by them now, which made a Fallout game that we know of. So like, and Fallout is now in that Microsoft umbrella. So it's like there's a lot of neat things that they can do, and different collaborations that maybe weren't necessarily like, oh, this will never happen again, but now potentially could because of it's all under one umbrella. So it's pretty neat.
There's a lot of people want New Vegas 2 now or
That's
something.
what I'm saying. New Vegas 2's flying around because they have both studios. It can happen.
I think it's a little silly, but
why would it be a little silly? It can absolutely happen. They absolutely own Fallout IP now, and they own the studio that made it.
Well, I think the studio that made it is pretty. Those people seem to want to be doing their own stuff now, but I don't know. Also, I think it's a little where people romanticize that game a little bit. I think there was some issues.
I never played it, but I thought you liked it a lot.
Well,
I do like it. I do like it a lot, but I actually preferred Fallout 3 to New Vegas myself.
Oh, Fallout 3 was excellent. I love that game.
But I don't know. Somewhat related here. Game Pass is interesting too. Like when something's released on it, we still don't really know. Like just because they're Microsoft umbrella, if it's going to be there the whole time. It seems like it, but who knows? Like for example, right now, like I'm thinking about getting an Outer Worlds, the Obsidian game, that they have that Paralon Gorgon expansion coming out, but they have a season pass where a second unannounced one is grouped in with that. And as someone who got the game on Game Pass for free, I would have to pay for the expansion, and I'm just like, do I want to buy this not knowing for sure if I'm going to have access to the base game in like a year or something when this other part might come out?
I mean, on the positive side of things with that, usually by the time that's off of the service, it's like $5 on its own.
Well, again, I'm not sure. Does this mean
if it were to happen?
Stuff like this, though, does this mean it's more permanent? Is this like, Halo, which you expect would always be on there, although who knows? There's no set rules, really. You just expect.
That's the thing, is like they have to kind of get that trust from the gamers. And so far, I think that they've done a good job with it. Like pretty much any new big title has come out has been on Game Pass and has been on there for a while. So as of right now, I wouldn't be too concerned that it'd be gone by the time I was done with it. I think it'll probably be there long enough.
I think that's a good point. Like I don't see it, especially I just don't see it going away. I just don't see it going away because
it could cycle through, and who knows? Like, new expansion's coming out, it comes back on the Game Pass. It's like just because it goes away doesn't mean it can't come back.
It's like Netflix. No, it's like Netflix. They've canceled shows, their original content on Netflix, but their shows are still there. Like you can watch Daredevil whenever you want. It's canceled, but you can see it on Netflix whenever you want. It's not gone.
Well, that's not how it's like with Game Pass, though. If I have something that's
no, but it is how it's like
now,
with first-party games. It is how it is like with first-party games. Yeah.
You think so? Again,
it is. I'm just going with what it's got.
How it's been, sure.
It's exactly like Netflix model. Sky High. I forgot to mention on the movie cast. I watched that. It's not on Disney Plus yet. It's going to be there in December. Guess where it is? It's leaving Netflix because it's not their show.
Sure.
So it's the same idea.
The only thing is, like, I get what Mike is saying is we just don't know yet because it is still real new. We just don't know enough. But that's where I'm saying, like, they're gaining. I think they're gaining trust, though. So
I'm
their word for now.
Yeah, no, I assume first party stuff is pretty much going to be on Game Pass as long as Game Pass is there, but we don't have any guarantees about that. And now I think this does make it more likely that something like Outer Worlds will be available through Game Pass longer. I wasn't so sure before we heard about this that they would, just because it's similar type deal. If they're really going to try to make a deal with Bethesda now that they're together. So I don't know, but From my perspective as someone who, it seems like most stuff is going to come out to the old system anyway for, Xbox in the foreseeable future. I was going to have access to these games no matter what. I just hope this purchase accelerates these games, new games, because Bethesda has not been on a hot streak lately. They've really been dragged through the mud lately. Between Fallout 76, people weren't in love with Fallout 4. It was okay, but and to a certain extent, people say Outer Worlds is like, oh, this is what Fallout should have been, although it kind of isn't.
Well, Outer Worlds is Obsidian, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like just the feeling. There's no one's been too happy with Bethesda lately, and I don't know if this is going to be a course correction or if we're going to actually get an announcement about the next Elder Scrolls game or anything like that soon. But I would hope so, because or even something more concrete about Starfield, anything.
Mm-hmm.
I hope this is what that means, that we're going to get these games soon, but I'm not sure.
Well, now they're part of the family. Maybe they get more help from other studios or something. I could see that. But, I mean, it's huge though. Like, because there's a lot of talk of Microsoft buying TikTok. the video Twitter service thingy that is, and with this, I just don't see that happening now at all. But you just can't just drop $7.5 billion and be like, all right, let's keep going and just buy a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's big. It's big, and like with xCloud and everything, like it's promising and it's exciting. I'd say exciting for a Microsoft fan that they're going all in on this. Like I said, you don't drop $7.5 billion on something you don't think is going to be a big part of your future. So gaming is going to be a big part of Microsoft's future. So that's exciting as a gamer and as a fan, of Microsoft, that I could see them being very excited for all this.
Yeah, I don't really think there's too much of a downside here. I know that some people have some hot takes where it's like, oh, greedy Microsoft exclusives are coming. And it's just like, that might not even be true. And I think at this point, again, considering you can buy what will soon be the last gen system and have access to probably most of these games, I don't think you could be too upset as a consumer from this development. I think it's probably mostly good.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know. We'll see what they come out with as we learn more. I'd like to know what they will have exclusive games for the Xbox. It's a matter of what their first exclusive game will be. I think their main IPs.
You expect new IPs to be exclusive from them?
Yes.
Not existing ones, though.
I just don't see them. Microsoft plays nicely with Minecraft. They play nicely with what's the one they just did? Ori even. Ori's an IP they have that is on the Switch. They give out their IPs quite a bit. I'm trying to think of the PlayStation game, but they own the company. But I know Minecraft's out there too, but it's just something else. I just can't remember what it is. But
Outer Worlds.
Yeah, well, Outer Worlds, yeah, Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds, that's right, Obsidian. That's what it is, Outer Worlds. I mean, they didn't care about that, and so and I just don't see. And Outer Worlds 2, I guarantee Outer Worlds 2 will be on all the consoles as well.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying before. It's like Microsoft's making money by having their software on other platforms.
They're in the business of making money, not in the business of and that's with their system / what they bring you.
I mean, that's the thing. Yeah. They want to sell their hardware, but at the same time, they're more about services.
They're more about services than their hardware. Like, do they? I think their hardware is a loss leader for them. Like, that's it. They know they're going to get a loss with those things.
If they want to sell their hardware, it wouldn't be $499. It would have been $600.
No, you're right. But I mean, like, I don't think they're taking that much of a loss on their specs. I don't. Like, I think they're losing a little bit on that system. I feel like but they're not pushing to be number one with hardware at all. They're doing to be number one in services. That's what I think they're doing. I think they're going for straight software. Software.
Agreed.
So, I mean, I don't think that you give them what? Okay, let's say the PS5 sells 120 million units. Do you think Microsoft cares how many they sold?
No.
I mean, honestly, if it's like
you want to get as many as possible.
If it's abysmal, I get it, but they'll decide that behind the scenes. That's why they don't give out the hardware numbers now. They don't care what they sell on hardware wise, because they're giving you software. Is what they're going for. They're giving you services. I mean, they've done it for years with Office. They've done it with Office. Like it's on Mac, it's on Windows. They want to sell you Office wherever you go. Hell, I think they have the cloud version now, so you can use it on Chrome. They want you to use Office. That's their software. They want that more than anything than you buy a Windows machine. So they've done this for years. It's the same exact strategy. That's my theory. But I don't know. Anything else? I think we're good on the news, right? Yeah, I think that was it. I saw something on Twitter, but it was for the Game Awards. Just that was about it. Nothing big breaking news. Just Keighley
not being able to get an Xbox.
No, he's tweeting out like a picture of his award image. Oh, there's Tony. Just at the end of the podcast.
Oh, jeez. All right.
We're just ending up. Hey, it's okay. Chime in. No, chime in.
What do we talk about?
Xbox Bethesda purchase. Go.
It's. I mean, obviously, it's within the right and everything like that, but it kind of scares me in the sense that, like, I feel like we're inching closer and closer to, the big companies like primarily Microsoft and Sony, and to a lesser degree, like EA and Activision, just gobbling up all these studios. And like, I mean, Bethesda. It's not like
studios. Yeah, right. I get that with a small studio thing, but like this is a huge fucking studio. Yeah.
Right. So it concerns me.
I just wanted to do a little bit, just because it's funny, because I had the exact opposite reaction in a little bit of a way. So it's good that you're on here now, because I get the opposite take. So go on. I'll throw myself in a little bit.
I was just saying, like, it just feels like. All right, so let me talk about just the Microsoft angle. For Microsoft, it's a huge one because obviously they expand their portfolio, game diversity, et cetera, et cetera. In a way, though, I feel like, again, it's like the lazy, easy way out for Microsoft, especially because it's like, you know what? The whole last 7 years of this generation, we haven't come up with like one critically acclaimed, game of the year contender or whatever like that, while Sony and Nintendo have been, ping-ponging that back and forth depending on the year. And it's just like, you know what, let's just throw money on our problem. Let's just buy it. Who can we buy out? Oh, Bethesda? Let's buy them out. Let's get, the next Skyrim. Let's get the next Fallout. Let's get the next, whatever else they have and stuff like that. So to me, it just feels a little lazy. And again, whenever there's a huge buyout, I'm always concerned with, the talent that will be leaving. And as always, they're always like, oh, no, nothing's going to change. We're still Bethesda. I think that was the official statement and stuff like that. But I'm sorry. Whenever ownership changes, there's always going to be other changes that follow.
Definitely.
It doesn't matter if it's a day, a month, a year, or a decade. Eventually, it will come. And I'll cite Activision acquiring Blizzard. That's probably one of the worst deals of all time, as for me as a consumer and a fan of Blizzard, because I slightly hate Blizzard and what they stand for today, or what they don't stand for. So that's a Microsoft angle. And then again, just from a video game consumerism fan, it's just I don't know what we get out of this. It's a little less competition now. Because it's just cool, like Fallout and or next elderscrolls, Starfall. That's all going to be on Xbox Game Pass day one. Cool. Like, again, that's great and all, but that's how are you going to compete? And again, this is just me talking about the long-term ramifications of having games that are easily and readily available for a cheap price. Like, why would you ever buy another AA or indie title for like $40, $50, $60, $70, going to the next gen, when it's like, oh, I'll just pay for Game Pass for a month and just rent this new.
That's their game.
No, I know I know that's their thing, but it's just, to me, the whole Game Pass thing. Again, I'm a Game Pass subscriber, because I signed up for that deal, the $1 conversion for 2 years of Xbox Live. Yeah. Great, but the whole thing, it just eerily reminds me of the whole mobile industry and how it was race to the bottom pricing from $5, $2, $1 to free to play, riddled with ads and spyware and all that crap. It feels like, to me, it devalues people paying for that. So,
yeah, but I think, for me, I feel like the cost of this service will be going up over time. There's no way to keep it at this level. Like, I think you raise it as you go. It's same thing with what Netflix has done. This is a Netflix model. So I feel like I said on here, you missed this. I said it on here, like their game is this. Like, here's Fallout 5 on the PlayStation 5, or you can play it, and you can spend $70 in this game, or you can play it free on Game Pass on our system. So they're going to still release these games on the other systems, but they're free on the Xbox if you sign up for Game Pass, because they want they want the revenue, the consistent revenue. And so I think that was the big idea of this acquisition. It's not about exclusivity for their games. It's about getting that $70 on the PS5 per sale, and getting their money for Game Pass. It's like a double dip for them. It's going to be great for them.
No, absolutely. And this, again, just goes back into the conversation we're having years ago, where Microsoft is transitioning from being like a hardware manufacturer, or they'll still do it, but like, their specialty is
sell you their hardware. Yeah.
Right. They don't need to sell you their hardware. And kind of like I was saying in the Discord to Nick, I don't think they're going to make these games exclusive. Maybe at best, like Game Pass debut exclusive, like maybe a month ahead or, whatever. But like, honestly, there's just more money to be made by saying, hey, we'll release on everything we can because it's worked out great. I mean, they just had with the Nintendo Switch Direct last week, or presentation, whatever the hell they were calling it. Ori 1 and 2 are coming to the Switch physically and stuff like that. And the second one dropped that very same day. So, those two games are going to do well or have done well. Cuphead has done well. Minecraft has obviously done well. Stuff like that. There's no incentive for them to stop doing it because they're making money.
No, Microsoft's in the game of making money like everybody else, and this enables them to make more. So why would they not do this? Granted, $7.5 billion is a fuck ton of money, but it's a big company they bought.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier in the podcast and before you got on, Tony, is like, I'm excited as a gamer fan because Microsoft, now they're not going to drop $7.5 billion and then just like not do anything with it.
I don't know, man. Microsoft acquisitions do not have the best history.
To drop that kind of money, though, Tony, and just say,
I'm just saying you have to imagine that's going to be a big part of their future. It may not succeed, but they have to imagine that's going to be a big part of their future. And that makes me, I think that's exciting to know that, as a Microsoft company, their acquisitions haven't been $7.5 billion. They've been a few $100 million here and there. Like $7.5 billion does take a lot of their capital. I mean, that's not nothing. So it's one of the bigger acquisitions in a long time. And like we were talking about, it's like as big as Star Wars, Marvel, and Minecraft. Like all three of those combined, it was like around that. So it's like they have to be doing something with this as part of their future going forward. And
I still don't even see
for a little while
it's worth that much. It makes no sense to me.
No, I mean,
it's all that I was saying. It's all that TikTok money that they didn't have to spend.
Oh, right, but I mean, the thing is, sure, I mean, obviously, I think these games are going to come out and everything like that. But again, it's just one of those things where we won't know for a while, most likely, the invisible hand of what changes are happening behind the scenes and stuff like that.
That's another thing, though. Like, has Bethesda been doing well lately? Not really. They've sort of been dragged through the mud in the last few years.
Oh yeah, they had the Fallout. What do you call it?
Yeah, the Fallout 76 thing, but
76, I think. Thank you.
And before that, no one really not people liked, but no one was too thrilled with Fallout 4, and people have suddenly like Todd Howard is a meme.
Well, I mean, Fallout 4 is still it's my least favorite of the modern Fallout games, but it still sold a shit ton, and I still think it was critically acclaimed that year that it did come out.
I remember it was in that 8.5 range. It wasn't like bad.
Right. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, these random ass outlets gave a Game of the Year award or whatever like that. It's just, again, it's one of those things that, I'm just going to point to Activision Blizzard again. It's like, yeah, okay, Blizzard got snatched up by Activision, and for years we didn't see any direct impact from that. But now, in the year 2018, 2019, it's a joke. I mean, everything that Blizzard does now, is just, from the infamous, what, you guys don't have a phone to, you know, the China, Hong Kong thing and stuff like that. It's just they're not independent anymore. They're controlled by a company that owns them. So it's just one of the things where it has the potential to be a lot of good and nothing but good. But I'm skeptical. In 2020, I'm skeptical. So I'd like to be proven wrong. I hope it doesn't come to be like that. But it's one of the things, and now especially because now Sony could be retaliate. I use air quotes, retaliate. But it's just one of the things where, like, okay, what if now Sony's like, oh,
well, you saw the petitions, right, for Sony to go out and buy
just buy Square or something.
Right, exactly. It's just like, come on, like,
where does it stop? Yeah,
right. Where does it stop? And it's just one of the things where, like, if this trend continues, it's just going to be like Microsoft and Sony are going to be basically the Disney of the game, of the game.
Here's the thing, like,
at least they'll be two of them.
Look. I think how many times in this podcast have we mentioned the fact that they don't have IPs, they need to get studios, they don't have studios, they close them down. It is a big purchase. It absolutely is for them. It's a matter of what they do with it. And then, but I get your point of, like, EA's been doing this for years, and we have far less studios because of it. Like,
right?
They shut them down. They actually shut them down. They use them, but
right. And then here's the other thing: is like, put yourselves in the shoes of a theoretical game developer at a random Microsoft Studios acquisition or division or something like that. Like, you just got told that your game probably has X amount of budget, Y amount of time to get out, this, that, and the other thing. It's like, okay, cool, numbers, I get it. This is a corporate thing. It's like, you just fucking bought Bethesda for $7.5 billion. How are you gonna tell me that they couldn't have pumped money into 343 to make Halo Infinite make launch? Like, how is this happening? How can you say within like
how much of that also is on 343 though? I mean, 343 has just not been handling Halo.
Well, right, then what? If you're gonna throw money to make problems go away, and the problem is you don't have killer exclusive games or whatever like that for your platform, for $7.5 billion, like, how many games could that fund? How many games?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
1,000? 10,000?
We've never had to cancel any. I mean, every game they've canceled this, like, in the last generation, they would have never had to do it.
Right.
You could have funded all those games easily.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. 10 times. You could have built studios from the ground up.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. So that
could have actually built a brand new. You could have built a brand new studio for that money easily.
You're talking
with half that money, not even a quarter of that money, not even like a sliver.
It's all about IP. You don't.
But they wanted those IPs.
Buy, like, I want to have an animation thing, like, or a comic book like this, like Marvel. So as Disney, I'm just going to create my own comic book company. You have all these established brands. That's why you pay that money.
Oh, you get Fallout. You get Starfield.
The big thing is
Elder Scrolls. I mean, you get
all versions of it.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like, they're buying the established brands. Like, that's part of it.
I know, but look. Here's what I'm saying. You look at the way they treat their own franchises. Like, do you really trust them with the Elder Scrolls after Fable went missing for 10 years?
Again, do we trust Bethesda anymore with how they've been lately? Like, I think
I don't see a problem with Bethesda.
I think Bethesda needed a course correction, and I feel more confident with. They felt like a company that needed some help to me in the recent years.
I feel like you're right. I mean, you're right. Plus, I mean, financially, like, because of that hit on the games that they took before, like, where are the development states of these other games, like Elder Scrolls and Starfield, and where's the money coming from for that from ZeniMax? There may have been like issues with that whole thing, like, so maybe them buying this makes these games get made. Plus, like we mentioned before, Tony, get on here. I mean, we get Fallout New Vegas 2 possibly happening with both studios now under Microsoft's wing.
I still think that's
they could have had, if they really wanted that, they could have made that happen.
I don't really think
you can't tell me that you could have done that for cheaper than $7.5 billion.
You could have said, like, listen, Bethesda, here's $1 billion. Let me go and use make Fallout New Vegas. That's way much more than they should have paid for, but they could have done that with less money. It's been less money.
Right.
But I don't know. I think that having these IPs, huge thing for them. It's a matter of what they do with it. It's not going to be for exclusives on the Xbox, but it will be for their Game Pass. That's what this is for. This is for the Game Pass.
No, I know. It's for Game Pass, and, while it's doing great, I think they just, passed 15 million subscribers or whatever the number said in the press junket or something like that. But
yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
it just
it's good for now.
50%. Yeah, it grew 50% over the last 6 months or something like that. So
it's good for now. Obviously, I take advantage of it when I can, but
it could also be
the long term.
Like they want the tech too. Like there's a lot of tech that ZeniMax like has in their studios that maybe they wanted some of that tech that they're doing. Like didn't they have like a whole lot of VR stuff that they were doing over there?
Yeah, but okay, like take for instance, we're recording on Skype. How many years have we bitched about Skype sucking ever since Microsoft acquired them?
No, I got you. I'm just saying that's why they bought. This is like that's why they buy companies that have better tech.
I know. It's just look. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense for them. I'm just saying I don't have to be a fan of it.
Right, and I just want to say it might not just be for the games. Like there is a lot of interesting.
I mean, I'm sure
there
had to be something more than just the game / IP, but again, for $7.5 billion.
Yeah,
were they the ones? Were they the ones who got sued or sued for that Oculus thing? ZeniMax.
I think they got sued.
No, they sued for the technology. They don't have that.
Well, no,
they sued for it.
Wasn't
somebody at ID Software doing something that they?
Somebody stole stuff from them. I thought. Oh, they went to work for them. Is that what you're saying? Oh, that might be it. You're right. Somebody stole from ID.
They have ZeniMax owns like Alpha Dog Games, Arcane Studios, Bethesda Works, ID Software, Machine Games, Roadhouse Studios, Tango Gameworks, and ZeniMax Online Studios.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what a couple of those do, but I'm just saying like there's a lot obviously there, and you don't pay $7.5 billion just for.
It's still so astronomical, that number.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't. It's a little weird.
It's a crazy number. It really is a crazy number.
They may. Well, it was.
It's like how do they ever get that money back? Really, I mean, it's a long time to get that money back.
Right. I mean, let me just do some rough math here. Pull up my calculator. All right, $7.5 billion. That's a million.
Makes you enough zeros. Makes
That's a billion. All right. Now let's just round up and say that the average copy of a game sold for them is going to make $50.
$50. That's a high. Go on.
Yeah.
Even though they don't even
probably
sell
more like
like that now, but
it's probably half of that. It's probably 25. Yeah.
All right. We'll go with 30. How about 30? Because I mean, if it's first party, there'll be
microtransactions anyway.
Right.
Bringing that up.
So at $30, they would have to sell 250 million copies of whatever, of Skyrim, of next Elder Scrolls,
all of it,
all the games,
yes,
250 million games. Like
how many Elder Scrolls Skyrims are out there? How many Skyrims have they sold altogether? Because that game has sold the most of them
on every platform.
Oh, God, how many Skyrims have been sold?
Let me see.
Oh boy,
because it's been out on everything.
No, you're right.
That was a big joke on. Yeah, that was a big joke on Twitter. Was it won't be on PS5. So.
Say it. Let's see. Electronic Entertainment Design and Research, a market firm, estimates that the game has sold 23 million copies worldwide. Blah blah blah. But then in November 2016, Howard announced that Skyrim had sold over 30 million copies. So 4 years ago, maybe we could say like 40 to 50. 50 being the ceiling there.
I would say 60. Let's go nuts. Let's double it for the because it's sold on every console. Yeah, let's go double it, which is weird. But let's say 50 to 60. Sure.
Right. 50
and that's 60. That's their biggest selling game, which means they have to do that 4 times.
Yeah. 4 or 5 times.
It took them about how long is since the initial release? Like 9 years or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. 2011. Yep.
So, so if they do that, have 4 games like that in the next decade, maybe.
Yeah. So next. Yeah. So yeah.
It'll be about 10 years to get
20-30 years.
Woo, okay.
Again. It's good for Microsoft. It's good for Microsoft fans. It's good for Game Pass subscribers and stuff like that. Again, just me personally, as a consumer, as a game industry fan, I got to be skeptical of it. Like I've never seen an acquisition where I'm like, oh, I like everything about that. Okay.
Yeah.
You look at any of the studios EA has acquired. Look at BioWare. Again, Activision with Blizzard. Any other Microsoft. Like I've never been happy about an acquisition. So
Yeah.
there you go.
All right. All right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap up.
We were pretty much going to end on the opposite feeling before you came on.
We're almost done.
Were you guys all happy about it? I'm sorry.
Well, I said
I'm not happy, but
I literally said, as a consumer, I don't see the downside for us right now. That's what I said.
Oh yeah, no. In the immediate, like, whenever.
Just like keep in mind, like Bethesda. It's not just Bethesda. I mean, it's like we're saying, the ZeniMax. That's a big company on its own. Like, it's not like an indie studio game's like swallowed up by this major corporation.
No, I know. Just.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't expect them to just go away. Like, it's too big. First of all, it's $7.5 billion. They're not gonna just throw it out. You know, they're not throwing it out.
But,
So
no, again, Tony says there needs to be. Something's going to change. My feeling was something kind of needed to change with Bethesda, but maybe that's up for.
But again, it's not like this. It's not just Bethesda. You know, it's like the entire.
Yeah, but I don't care about everything.
I don't care about anything else
because I don't really know what
saying,
that does.
Like,
that's all. Those are all like.
Bethesda had to answer to people. You know, like they had to answer to people, and so it's like. Yeah. So now they're just answering to different people.
Yep.
So it could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Could be a good, bad. We'll find out as we go. We got 20, 30 years to figure that out. So thanks for tuning in, though, guys.
2 decades.
Yeah, we're gonna end that 512 on that note. Don't forget, as I mentioned on the Moviecast, write us at our old email address, allyoucangeek@gmail.com. It is no longer podcast. Please don't use that one. allyoucangeek@gmail.com. I screwed it up again. And you can follow us on Twitter, Geek. Like us on Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe and the like button. We appreciate it. See you guys next week.